Hi there, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto. Okay, so regular viewers will know that I've been involved quite a lot with Stonksy. Stonksy is an indicator by Crypto Saving Expert, that Martini guy, those sort of people. I've been using it quite a lot since I got it in September. I must admit I do use it with other indicators as well. But what I've been quite interested in is what I've been doing since April the 2nd, which is using the actual Stonksy bot. Now the way this works is if you've got a membership with Stonksy, and by the way, if you need one, go to savewithcrypto.org/Stonksy, and you can use code SWC10 to get 10% off an annual fee for it. If you want to just use the monthly, you can use this code here, BOT20, which gets you 20% off the first month. So I think it's about 150 quid if you buy it monthly. So that would make it like 30 quid off, wouldn't it? So that'd be more like 120, I guess. So, you know, not too expensive. Now the bot, the way the bot works is if you've got a Stonksy membership, then what you need to do is to go to this exchange link here and sign up for Blofin, okay? And then when you've done that, you send your UID, that's like your unique ID if you like, over to Dave in the Stonksy Discord, and you get the Discord as part of your package, you know. And then he will whitelist you for the copy trading bot that's on Blofin. Okay, that makes sense? I hope so. Anyway, so Blofin's got this copy trading thing here. If you go to like all traders, you can see all these sort of people here. And what it is, if you search for Stonksy, you'll see Stonksy high frequency and Stonksy low frequency. Okay, so these are the Stonksy bot for the moment. I am using the high frequency bot. That one does more trades than the low frequency one, and it does seem popular with 52 people using it rather than one person using the low frequency one. That's probably because it makes more money. Now what happens if you try and copy one of these bots here and you're not a Stonksy member? It will say you need to be whitelisted for that particular bot, so that's how that works. So the high frequency one, I set that up on April the 2nd. And initially I put in about 113 USDT, I think. And then later in the day, I upped it to 250. Okay. So if you look at my actual bot setup here, I didn't set it up in the normal way. I believe when you set it up, you can just go for like smart copy here and just leave it on all the defaults, and you know, you can just start trading straight away. Now I didn't choose to do that because it uses 3x leverage, which I think is a little bit too safe, if you like. And also, it uses quite a small percentage of your capital at a time. And really, you know, because I'm using fairly small amounts at the moment, I just wanted to go a bit larger and, you know, to see some results kind of straight away, really. So I went for the traditional settings, and, you know, whatever I've got in there, I've just put it in there as cost per order. Other settings, I've left the copy traders margin mode like that. The leverage, I've actually upped it to 10. Okay, now if you want to do that, but that is up to you entirely. It's on 3 by default because it's very safe. So by default, that will be on 3, which I think for Bitcoin, I think you can go up to 10, I reckon. But if there was a problem with this, if somehow the bot took a bad trade, you know, with this small amount of money, I would have some more money to be able to put in to add as margin, for example, to get me out of any situations without getting liquidated or anything horrible like that. The take profit and stop loss, you can set that if you want, but I just leave that because I just let the bot do it. So how is it done? Well, at the moment it's not in a trade, okay, which I'm pleased about. So it's done 10 trades since the initial one on the 2nd of April. Now it started off quite badly. The first one was on the night of the Trump tariff speech, where the price of Bitcoin went up a lot. And I actually looked at this at one point, and it was about 30 or 40% in profit. And I kind of didn't close it because I wanted to keep the results quite pure. So I let it close itself, and unfortunately it closed in quite a loss. It was actually a 23% loss. So that wasn't a good start. It started off quite badly. Then the next trade, it lost that as well, and ended up with a 6% loss. And then the next one was a 5% loss. Next time it did a short, and it made $9 profit. Then it did a long where it made a loss as well. And by this time, I was kind of thinking, well, is it any good? And then since then, it's actually made a profit on every trade. And some of these have been quite substantial, like this one here, where it made $57. So overall, it's gone from my initial investment of $250 to $298. Okay, that doesn't sound that impressive, but that's only 13 days. Okay, if you work that out as a percentage, it's about 9.6% per week. Now that's not bad. I'll show you why. I mean, we can assume that if it's done 10 trades in 13 days, it's doing about a trade a day, isn't it? So really, you could compound the gains every day. And that's just a matter of selecting that amount for the order as the amount of money you've got in the account. So all you'd have to do is just log in once a day. If it's not in a trade, just push that slider up to full and just trade with all your money. You might not choose to do that because it might be a little bit scary. If so, don't. Just use half of it, quarter, whatever. But I'm using all of it because I want to see what can happen. So $250 initially, interest rate is going to be 9.6% weekly, okay? And I don't see any reason why we can't compound this daily. I mean, let's say rather than 365 days a year, let's go for 360, okay? And let's just have a look what happens after 1 year, okay? So let's calculate that. So that would make 35.5 grand in 1 year. That's incredible, isn't it? And clearly, if you were to start off with something more like, say, $1,000, that would make 142 grand a year. Now, that, I think, is a good wage. I mean, you could even start off with 2,000, pay yourself 1,000 monthly, and you still have 8,384 left at the end of the year. So 9.6% a week isn't bad. Now, it might not stay at that, might go down, might go up, but if that's the kind of figure we're talking about, that's really good, I think. So the bot's not in a trade at the moment, and the price of Bitcoin is coming down. I mean, this is quite good in a way, because left to my own devices, I would be looking for a long about now. And maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe I should be, looking much lower, maybe, or whatever. But, the bot seems to be making some interesting decisions. Yeah, I think time will tell anyway. But I just thought I'd report on, what was happening in the first 2 weeks. And so far, a bit of a shaky start, but after that, it's looking pretty good, I must admit. Might be something worth considering. If you do use my link, savewithcrypto.org/Stonksy. Now, tomorrow I will be on the Stonksy indicator channel. I'll be doing a live stream with Dave at 1 p.m. And we've got some news to tell you. So, we'll tell you on the stream tomorrow. If you like the sound of that, please do give the video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. Any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Give the video a big fat like. And above all, tell your friends.
Save with Crypto has to be one of the best YouTube channels that the United States has ever seen. Kamala Harris is not a subscriber, but I am. I have notifications set to all as well. I'd strongly suggest you subscribe to Save with Crypto today. Above all, you should tell your friends.
Save with Crypto is not a financial advisor. He just makes ice cream on the internet. If you cannot find someone to do your own research, you must do it yourself, just like I did not.